I say to the women's rights organizations, to the human rights organizations, you've heard of the rape of Israeli women? Horrible atrocities, sexual mutilation? Where the hell are you? I expect all civilized leaders, governments, nations to speak up against this atrocity.
There is Benjamin Netanyahu slamming those who have stayed silent on the rape and torture of Israeli women by Hamas. Tal Heinrich, spokesperson for the Prime Minister, is with us now, and good morning to you. Do you think yesterday they moved the ball in the right direction or not?
I can tell you that on Monday, I had the honor to take part in one of the most powerful events that I've ever witnessed at the United Nations. And trust me, Dana, Bill, I heard about these testimonies. I heard about these atrocities in my role, but it was so powerful and so moving and so sad to hear firsthand from first responders who came to the scenes on October 7th and handled these bodies, what happened to some of these women. And I said there that these women were murdered 2 times. First time when Hamas terrorists raped them, mutilated them, abused them sexually. And the second time when they put a bullet in them. And in at least one case, this happened at the same time, which is sickness. And we will not allow for a third time to take place, for them to be murdered again through neglect and silence.
The women's groups who are silent, we can put this up on the screen here. You know, these are all women's groups that are sure to jump on anything if it doesn't have to do with an Israeli woman getting attacked and raped. Here's a female hostage's account. I want to read this to you. You know this, but for our audience. She said that they touch girls and everyone knows it. I won't recount details, but we had a procedure that no one moves without someone guarding them. Medications ran out and they gave us the wrong drugs. What more can you tell us about the horrors that they experienced?
That it was intentional. It wasn't a bug in the October 7th plan. It was a feature of it. And at the United Nations this week, we also played excerpts from interrogations of terrorists that Israel arrested, admitting to that, which is sick. Now, regarding these human rights groups, I think that there are a few tiers of different hypocrisies here at play. There are the ones who deny the testimony, and there's abundant testimony right now that we presented. And then there's the ones who simply say that, well, yes, there's evidence, but, you know, as if they deserved it because they were Jewish, they were Israeli. That's why you see the viral hashtag now, Me Too Unless You're a Jew. And you also have these staunch advocates, so-called, for human rights and so on, that are saying, well, this has to be investigated. And at the same time, they're taking Hamas numbers and reports and whatnot at face value. This has to be investigated. And I don't understand what they're thinking that they're doing here. Are they helping the Palestinians when they don't acknowledge what happened to Israeli women? Do they think that it means that they will stand 100% with the Israeli position on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict if they acknowledge what transpired?
Tal, part of the reason why this came to light this week is because you had prominent American women, largely Democratic, who probably aligned themselves with a lot of the groups that Dana just mentioned there. And they were having none of this. Just check out the soundbite from New York this week at the UN.
When I saw the list of women's rights organizations who have said nothing, I nearly choked.
This goes beyond politics. If we can't agree that rape is wrong, then we have accepted the unacceptable.
It is outrageous that some who claim to stand for justice are closing their eyes and their hearts to the victims of Hamas.
So we play that because Congresswoman Jayapal on Sunday really lit a fire about this because she couldn't answer the question directly. She put out a statement late last night. She said, let me be completely clear again that I unequivocally condemn Hamas's use of rape and sexual violence of an act of war. But then she went on to say and said, this is horrific, and across the world, we must stand with our sisters, families, and survivors of rape and sexual assault everywhere to condemn this violence and hold perpetrators accountable. So not just Hamas she's talking about, but the entire globe. Do you accept that comment?
I'm still waiting for her to retract her other statement in that interview when she said one war crime doesn't justify another. Israel is not committing war crimes.
Right.
Israel is abiding by international law. And in fact, we go to very, very, unprecedented extents to protect, safeguard the civilian population of Gaza.
Tal Heinrich, thank you for coming in today. And I wish I had been there at the UN. That must have been something to witness. But thank you for being here.